Look at this flat, black and white sketch of a London street. For over a century, this was the closest we could get to seeing the 1850s. But today, using modern scanning techniques, we can breathe life back into these historical engravings, transforming a frozen moment into a vivid, photorealistic world of glowing gas lamps and choking chimney smoke. This chart shows London's historical population. Notice how the line remains relatively steady for centuries before it explodes violently upward, right as we hit the 1850s. That massive spike pushed the city's population past 2.5 million people. At this exact moment, it completely dwarfed every other major global city, making it the absolute largest metropolis on Earth. This rapid growth created a bizarre paradox. London was the wealthy, beating heart of the British Empire, overflowing with global trade. Yet sharing those exact same streets was a landscape of desperate poverty, rampant deadly disease, and brutal crime. To understand the reality of this era, we have to physically map out the two entirely different Londons occupying the exact same space. We start our journey in Hyde Park in 1851. The air is clear, crowds are impeccably dressed, and the nation is brimming with supreme confidence. Looming over the park is the Crystal Palace. This revolutionary structure was forged from iron and glass to house the Great Exhibition. The exhibition was a spectacular global event designed with one specific purpose: to showcase Britain's absolute industrial dominance to the rest of the world. Millions traveled here to marvel at new factories, steam engines, and mechanical looms. For the wealthy aristocrats returning home to the elegant neighborhoods of Mayfair, a highly affluent district in London's West End, the 1850s offered an extraordinary life. Their comfort was entirely sustained by this new boom in mass production and railway networks. But the Crystal Palace was a carefully curated illusion. It celebrated universal progress while completely ignoring the grim reality required to fund it. Let's leave the bright, wealthy West End and descend into the slums of the East End. Down here, the physical conditions are brutal. Towering brick walls completely blot out the sun. The narrow alleys are largely unpaved, and the air is thick with choking coal smoke. These two worlds are intimately connected. The grueling factory hours and punishing child labor extracted in these dark alleys directly generated the glittering wealth being celebrated back at the Crystal Palace. Yet in these cramped quarters, a threat existed that was far deadlier than the exhausting labor. The massive, unregulated overcrowding turned basic biology into a lethal weapon. Terrifying outbreaks of cholera, a severe bacterial infection causing rapid, fatal dehydration, would regularly sweep through these neighborhoods. A single outbreak could easily wipe out entire communities in a matter of days.
At the time, doctors widely believed the disease spread through foul air, or miasma. It took until 1854 for a brilliant physician named Dr. John Snow to map out the local infections and proved that this invisible killer was actually spreading through highly polluted drinking water drawn from the River Thames. London's rapid expansion had completely outpaced its own plumbing. By allowing raw sewage to seep into the local pumps, the city had turned the basic necessity of communal drinking water into a weapon against its poorest citizens. In these narrow streets, unimaginable wealth and horrific squalor brushed shoulders every day, creating a city that felt increasingly unstable. To control this deeply fractured society, politicians turned to the bobbies, the first professional police force established earlier by Robert Peel. These officers were deployed specifically to patrol the chaotic alleys and hunt down pickpockets. Control also came from above. If we look up from the muddy alleys, we can see the massive, looming construction scaffolding of the new Houses of Parliament. The new Houses of Parliament used a sprawling Gothic revival style to project a permanent, unshakable sense of imperial power over the turbulent city below. Even the towering scale of Big Ben served a purpose. It acted as a psychological tool, a massive monolith measuring out the hours, built to physically intimidate the deeply restive population moving like ants below. Victorian London compressed the world's brightest imperial light and its darkest, forgotten realities into the exact same muddy streets. History has left us thousands of these remarkable snapshots frozen in time, waiting to be brought back to life. We intend to reanimate many more of these moments here on Gritty Eras. Please let us know in the comments which city or era you'd love to see next. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the past.